All right, guys, today is April 3rd. It is Monday. So I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I have no monetization, so the fact that happened within the first 8 seconds or whatever the rule is, I don't really care. I'm in my own room. I did think I was coming out this morning because there was actually a note on my chart that I should be able to. But who comes bounding into the room at like 8:05 a.m. but my surgeon? Totally normal, totally fine, with none of the foreboding that I got from the floor below me, and was like, how you doing? Like, well, I could be better. And he was totally normal, and he was talking about how the grafts were kind of rubbing against the grafts. There was a bit of a little hematoma, which is like the precursor of a pseudoaneurysm, and that he was going to keep me off my Coumadin for a full 5 days and actually probably change the range to between 1.5 and 2 to protect the valve versus the higher 1.5, or what the hell was it? 2.5 to 3.5. That's what he thought actually caused the previous issue, is the fact that my blood was super thin, and, we were really kind of aiming towards catering towards the St. Jude's valve thinness versus this new valve, which has not posed a problem. Now, I did say to him, I'm kind of bewildered at this point because I'm figuring that the floor below me was kind of preparing me for the inevitable news that he was going to give me, that I am so sorry. We did everything we could. But unfortunately, I can't help you any longer. I'm going to do what I can to make you comfortable right now, blah, blah, blah. None of this came out of this man's mouth. He was totally normal. I was pretty confused. And of course, you probably wonder, why didn't I say, these people told me I would die? Because I actually heard from a nurse's mouth, you were probably going to die soon. So now I'm confused because this man is very positive. He's very, he's definitely a glass half full kind of person versus some of the other people that seem to work here. And I don't know if the people downstairs were more rational and more realistic, and he's trying to give me like the best case scenario because he knows that I am like he is, like a very positive person. I tend to look at things more on the positive end. I have no idea. All I know is he didn't give me any of the indication. He mentioned that he may have to go in and do something. I said, well, you would have to go through my breastplate. He said, yes, I would. We have biotape. And I was like, well, I was kind of hoping you could kind of like stick a probe in between my ribs and get in there and patch it. And then he's like, well, interventional radiology has these patch things and maybe we could talk to them. And I don't know. Like, I really was so confused because all the messaging I got this weekend was, it's happened again. At the rate of decay of the last graft, I almost I would have had 11 months because when I got this done on March 17th, they said it would have popped within a month. And again, it was like 10.2 centimeters. Now, I don't know what's going on. I know that my vasculature is super weak. We all know this. But I don't know who's telling the truth, because the other thing is, who comes to visit me but palliative care? Those guys come to kind of make sure that you are comfortable when you have like a brutal disease, when you're suffering from cancer, you might be suffering from end of life. Obviously, they don't necessarily only take care of people who are near end of life, but I never talked to these people before, and they're talking to me about medications they could give me. Of course, they're trying to sell me on mood stabilizers, and I'm like, listen, I don't want to lose my personality. I don't want to dull down. I know who I am. I have no need for mood stabilizing, but sometimes I'm freaking out a little bit. I may need an Ativan or a Xanax, and they're like, well, we don't really do that. You're going to have to be on something like more consistent. Then you have to see a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and you guys know how I feel about that. I did tell them that the reason I don't have PTSD is because I forget everything. I'll probably forget the fucking nightmare that this was probably in a few months, if obviously I'm still around. But my poor husband had to think all weekend that his wife was literally at death's door, that it was happening again, that of course, yes, he knew I was going to try to slow it down, but the inevitable end was the same. Anyway, that is my story. I took down the last video because what the fuck, and I will let you know what's going on tomorrow. I hope you are okay, and thanks for checking me out.